Greetings, summoners. Cosmic here, and welcome back to another Battle Spirit Saga video. And today we're going to start off a little bit different because I know it's been a while, and holy cow. First and foremost, I hope you're enjoying the launch. I hope you had a great time with the launch events and all that stuff, and I'll get into that in just a second. But thank you for all the support. I guess it's just because of launch, and I guess it makes sense, but over the last, 4 or 5 days, whatever it's been now, the channel has seen more activity and sub growth and views and all that good stuff. More so than any marketing, stunt that Bondi did or, consistent videos and whatnot. So like the algorithm wasn't working for me in my favor, right? It's just people who are generally interested in Battle Spirit Saga, finding the channel, liking the videos, enjoying the content. So seriously, thank you. Finally going to get back to a more regular upload schedule. And also with this weekend, Palm Springs, right? We're going to have our first grand open or first major event, right? Since Vegas and the other launch events. So really excited to see what people are putting together and brewing up. And I will say, if you haven't looked at the flights yet, Palm Springs is just a not great location. It's really difficult to get to. The timing's not great. So if it doesn't hit 200 people, I wouldn't be surprised. And I know people who aren't accustomed to like new Japanese-based card games, that might not seem the greatest, but honestly, over 100 would be really good for Palm Springs. And then like Ohio, even though it is the weekend of Origins, because of its location, because it's later down the road where people have more time to recover, travel costs or recover case costs for travel and all that stuff, I would expect Ohio to get like 300, right? So that's kind of you might think, oh, it's California. They have a huge scene for like all the Bushy Road games, and obviously Bondi for the other games are really big there. No, I think it's just going to be an unfortunate weekend. But that said, we are going to have some lists. We're going to have some new stuff to test out. And I'm very, very excited for everything going forward at this point, right? There's a lot of good stuff happening. And also, EXO1 reveals will probably start in a couple weeks. A few weeks after that, we'll get the Gundam reveals for Set 2. So a lot of really great stuff happening. So before I get into the actual part of the video, we talked about the grand opens previously, and then I want to talk about the huge Worlds announcement, right, and all the big money and all that stuff. Just a really quick recap for the weekend, because obviously I've been busy, right? So I will say I went to one of our launch events, so I got the, special Seaworm, love this dude. I did a video on Twitter. It's not going to come up in the video. Really nice textured foiling. Obviously, I'm just going to keep it like this because it's a nice little trophy card. And then if you want to see that list, I tweeted it here. And then, of course, for the winter promos for locals last night, I did it with Curse Control. I'll put the list up there as well. These are just lists that I've have played in the past or have done a video, or it's been one of the videos I've done. For the Fabled Beast list, obviously, take out the Enterprise, take out the Caladrius, take out the... I forgot what the third flex card was now off the top of my head. It's slightly different from the video that I put up, but if you want to see another version of Fabled Beast, just go check out the latest video. And then for Curse Control or Core Control, whatever you want to call it, right? It's the same list as everybody else. Like your 4s and 5s are like the thing that changes, and everything else is pretty standard. That one was a throwback to an older video as well, and I know it recently in the, I forget it was a 1K, wherever it was at, right? There was 5 purple decks in top 8. I also tweeted about that. So a long way to say, if you're not following me on Twitter already, you should be, because that's where I keep the most up-to-date news for Battle Spirit Saga, because let's face it, the Twitter account doesn't always tweet out everything they should right on time, or if you want those sweet, sweet distributor links, leaks, right, for when we find out if Blue is going to give us Mill or not. I really hope it gives us Mill. Make sure to follow me at Cosmic Plays on Twitter, and I'll also be sharing out more deck lists and all that stuff. So without further ado, all that out of the way, let's actually get into it. So the grand open, right? This is what we talked about last time. So go watch the previous video if you want to watch those first rounds of announcements. But very long story short, grand open is going to be the first event that helps you qualify for, or the event that qualifies for you for the Pro Tour. So top 32 of the grand open will go into the Pro Tour. If you haven't seen it already, just as a really quick recap, $25,000 cash prize pool. You scroll all the way to the bottom, all the lists are up. The registration links are either here on the TO's websites and stuff like that. So all the information's out there. Older video, great, go check it out. What I do want to talk about now is the actual Pro Tour itself and going into the World Championship, right? So Pro Tour has $100,000 cash prize pool. So $25,000 if you win it all. Obviously, that's just an insane amount of money. Really love to see it. As a reminder, we're going to have 2 North American Pro Tours, 1 in Europe, and they're going to be blocks. So for those that don't know, Bondi usually has like a block schedule, for lack of a better word, right? Where One Piece is doing their online block right now. I think Digimon is as well, where this month, so May and June, will be all the online events, and that'll be like the one competitive season where if it's a new event pack, if it qualifies for a specific event, right, it's generally those 2 months of events go together towards some reason or just some kind of prize pool that they have. For us, it's going to be the Grand Opens in May and then June, which will then qualify for the July Pro Tour. So then going down here, we see all the different stuff that you can get, and yeah, I'm the sucker, and you'll see it when I start doing some more recorded videos. I have the black Battle Spirit Saga where it says BSS sleeves on the back. I really love them. I just really like, on-brand sleeves. And then I noticed that there's Pro Tour sleeves, which obviously that's not going to be the design. Like, this is a placeholder, this is a placeholder, right? There's obviously placeholders on here. But I really want to know what they do for these. And honestly, depending on how a few things go, I might not be qualifying because I might be doing other stuff. I might not get to play in Ohio. That's all I'm going to say at this point, right? I'll be going to Ohio, but I might be doing other stuff one way or another. So I might not even get a chance to qualify, to have a shot at qualifying for the Pro Tour. So, which is a really tough, right? I have to get top 32, which I guess I've done top 32 a number of games before. So maybe I'm cutting myself short there, but I just really want the sleeves and the promos, which we're going to talk about shortly. But, again, I'm a sucker for that. I think it's really cool that this is something that I talked about, at length in another video. So I'll do the short version now. I really like how if you go to Japan Battle Spirits, right, they very much have the point redemption cores, the special tournament promos that you can get that are like alt arts and stuff like that. Like, Battle Spirits as a game does really well at using their IP, which again is their own standalone IP, and making all these special versions of cards so that when they port it over to Saga, it's not just the cash, right? Like, they could have very easily just said, here's a pile of cash. We don't care. Let that do its work, right? And they didn't. This shows that they care a lot about their IP. And again, it's not just the money. These are pretty significant prizing that you would want to see for a unique IP. So again, coming from something like Force of Will or other, Bushy Road games in the past, Dragoborn, Luck and Logic, you get the idea. Shadow vs. Evolve soon, which is Psy games, but they're leaning into this in a similar fashion, right? You absolutely love to see this. It's not just a top-end heavy, hey, here's 25K, go home with nothing, kick your butt out the door, right? Like, usually there's at least something that they would do on top of that, be it Flesh and Blood has the Champion Stamp Pro Tour winners for their favorite, like Oldham, I know was just at the last event, and cool stuff like that. But they really, you get the deck box, you get the sleeves, you get a metal soul core, which is, I need to see this thing in person next time. I'm really hoping that we can get a better video on that in the future. And then obviously all the Pro Tour stuff. And then, of course, top 64 and then participation, you still get the sleeves and a Pro Tour promo pack. So even for just going to the Pro Tour, it's pretty great. And it does pay all the way down to 64, which, as you remember, there's only a very limited amount. So it's who qualify for the Pro Tour. So it's going to be pretty, well, I guess I shouldn't say pretty easy to cash, considering it's going to be like the best players in the area coming together for this, right? Or I should say in the world coming together for the Pro Tour, because you can travel to them and whatnot. But paying all the way down to top 64 for 500, that's a very generous thing that they're doing. I know some people probably said they wish it would have been a little bit more top heavy, right? Like maybe cut it off at 32nd and put 16K, back into the top 8 of it. Whatever. I personally am a fan that it pays down to that low, right? Effectively. And then they're also doing some swag. So beyond that, really quick, just going over the Pro Tour exclusive art promos. These ones are pretty sick, right? So I know Alice is I think it was Alice Enterprise. I forget now, but some of these are reused artworks. I shouldn't say are artworks from Japan Battle Spirits that we know they're kind of repurposing, right? Like this is the Alice artwork I was really hoping we were going to get for the main set. I get why that they're using it here, but I'm like 99% sure because I know when I looked up forever ago, I did not see this artwork of Michaela. So someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I think this is a Pro Tour exclusive Michaela artwork, and it's gorgeous, right? Like, look how good this. And I also really like Behemoth, which is just one of my favorite cards in general. I think it's just a really great framing, the artwork, everything. I love the shift of the dynamic, right? Because you might not notice it from the original artwork, but Godbeast Behemoth is like above trees. He's like just that big. Like that's not broccoli or grass on the ground, right? No, this is a huge ass fabled beast that's in the realm of Radiance or the world of Yellow. And this is like the different perspective where like you're on the ground looking up at this guy. So I really, really love this artwork. I think it's just such a nice job for something that we haven't seen for God Beast Behemoth previously, or again, at least I haven't. Let me know if I'm wrong. Then I know some of these other ones have been repeats. And then Nova, of course, being from our trailer. That one I know is exclusive. And maybe I'm not the only one on this, but Rex has guns. Like I thought they were spikes, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like I thought the giant silver, like bone looking structures were just spikes or something. They're guns? Like there's clearly a mechanical hinge there, and there's like a barrel that you can make out. I'm assuming the other two are cut off by the text box and artwork, so you can't tell, but my dude just has 4 guns because why not, right? So kudos to him for having guns and fire breathing and just the dude just does it all, right? So cool. But those are all the different promos you can get. Obviously, there's the uncut sheet. So really, really love this. And then again, the most important note here is, okay, we're going up the structure, top 32 Grand Open into the Pro Tour, top 32 into the World Championship, the $250,000 cash prize pool. This is insane. That first place is going to walk away with $50,000. Whew, that is going to be a big amount. And again, just really excited that we're going to have this celebration. Again, paying down to 64th. I know there's kind of a coin flip, right? You either like it because it's more about like, congrats, you've got to Worlds, you've got to this point, finish out, I think it's half, top 50. You're at least getting $1,000, getting your travel expenses back. Because again, keep in mind, big reveal at the bottom, it is going to be in North America, which totally makes sense, right? We have the largest player base. We're going to have the most people qualified for it. I would fully expect all World Championships going forward to be in North America. Obviously, it'd be really cool if it could be in Japan and go to the headquarters and stuff like that, but Japan's not playing Saga, so it doesn't make sense. So 192, so it'd be 80. So yeah, I guess slightly better, or not 80, what am I, 100, just under 100, 90, not 80, 90, Jesus, would be 180, so 95. So slightly better than half. Quick math is failing me because I didn't have my coffee this morning yet. But you get the idea, right? But again, there's going to probably be other stuff for Worlds. This is just cash prizing. There's no other. The one thing I felt like that was really awkward because I talked all this hype about World, going back to the Pro Tour. Really cool to see all these like exclusive promos, right? Really nice touch, the sleeves, all that. And then you get to the World Championship and there's nothing. So the slight disclaimer, the hey, where's the rest of the info thing I'll kind of add here is there's not a lot here. And Palm Springs is literally this weekend. Which kind of like starts this whole Pro Tour competitive circuit, leading up to Worlds and what you want to qualify for. So we kind of need information on this sooner rather than later. Hopefully this is up soon. But the other thing here too is like, it doesn't have any participation stuff. So like they have to do something, right? Like there's no way that we're going to get to Worlds and it's just going to be a small venue. Here's the, I'm sure, oh God, I hope there'd be a stream, right? Let's just say no stream, small venue. Here's just the cash. Get out of here, right? There is no shot that they do something like that. But at least how the page is set up right now, there's nothing. So hopefully this gets updated. But obviously, $50,000 to first. I mean, even like top 8, like $8,000 and better from that point, you're sitting very pretty at that point, and it's a very, very good amount of cash value that they're doing for the end of the first year competitive season with the World Championship. So overall, pretty happy with what this looked like. Now, again, in a previous video, I talked about the Grand Opens. Now we have the Pro Tour and then the World Championship. Yes, locations could be better. Timing could be better. I think the participation stuff is great. The prizing is great. On paper, a lot of this looks really, really good, and it gives me a lot of hope for the first year's competitive season. But there's a lot of work to do, and I am happy to say that the Palm Springs event will have some live coverage. I know there will be casters there. I'm assuming it'll be streamed. I don't think it's actually been like officially said if it's going to be streamed or if it's just going to be like recorded videos. But I have to imagine it's going to be streamed after like based on who they're bringing in for the event. It has to be. It just has to be. So again, really excited. Lots of positive stuff here. If you haven't already, I did this in another video. If you haven't used the Bond TCG Plus website or app before, go check it out, sign up, find a store in your area, start playing, because there's still product available. Like, there's still boxes, at least I know locally. I think we're down to like one case, but you can get boxes for like 80 to 85. Obviously, the whole Ice Shield thing is another topic for another video, I would suppose, but generally speaking, it is pretty cheap to get in the game. And at worst, just build white aggro. It's like $20 well, I guess you need the starter deck, right? So if you buy 2 starter decks, that's 30. It's $50 for white aggro, because you have to buy the starter decks, I guess, for Dream Bomb. I think you only need 1 then, but go check a different video just to double check those ratios. And it is a budget friendly way to get it. It's very aggressive. It can kill you turn 2, but if you don't win turn 2, chances are the deck just falls apart since people are like more familiar with it now, and you just die. But getting to pull off like the Librarian regain combo, or just having like back-to-back Valkyrie Mists for the early game, mono white aggro can do some pretty crazy stuff. And again, the people who've done much better with me than the list have said multiple times, you do not want Absolute Ice Shield in that list. It is wrong to put Absolute Ice Shield in white aggro for what the deck wants to be doing. And honestly, I get it. I've played against it. I've definitely seen the kind of turns that it wants to do, so I 100% support that. But I think it's like tier 2, because I think once people start to adapt with it, they change their sideboard. I think it gets knocked down a bit, but it is definitely a deck that can surprise a lot of people. And if you haven't been playtesting against it a lot and know like what their turns can look like, you can still just die to it, even though that you are, a good player who might have like heard about this deck but have not actually seen it in motion. So that is all the competitive stuff out of the way. Now getting into the actual rules stuff. And again, quick shout out for the website itself. If you haven't read through these, please do, because there is some really nice Q&A on the website. And again, it's just, I think it's under games, right? Yeah, go to the games, go to the rules. It'll bring you to this. And then there's a Q&A for all the different breakdowns. But the thing I wanted to talk about was the tournament rules manual. And what's really interesting, at the time of recording this, they took it down. It's still available on their tweet because they linked right to the Google Drive for it. This is just a quick recap about what changes were made, and I still expect most of these to be in. But the really important note here is that draft and sealed, or I think sealed was already confirmed, but now draft was added. So for people who have been waiting and like wondering about limited for draft and sealed, those have been updated now, and I think it's 40 card minimum, and they have all the packs and all that stuff. So I am not a limited player whatsoever. Do not like it. Never liked it. I'm bad at it, admittedly, because I haven't put in the resources to getting better at it. And it's something I just avoided in every single card game I've ever played my entire life over the last 20 plus years of playing card games. So not for me, but if you enjoy it, please go check it out. Those rules are up there. Now, the last thing that I want to comment on here, because I know it's going to be, it's a little crazy, and a lot of people have already talked about this, but again, no more draws, which is a godsend, because in Vegas, obviously there was some stuff that happened where it technically wasn't an ID, but it was an ID, and then it caused the events round to end early because we had it undefeated when we should have had it undefeated, and then people felt like there should have been extra rounds because they had a chance to make the top cut. All that is going away. So now instead, we have 2 very, very important updates. The first one being, well, as I just mentioned, no more draws. You have to do a tiebreaker. No more are you going to have a state where it's like one and then, win game 1, win game 2, and then game 3 is like, oh, I guess we drew, right? Or just game 1. Sometimes you're playing like a really awkward white aggro matchup, just goes the full time, whatever. That is done. We have tiebreakers here. That is for sure going to like force a condition to happen for a winner and a loser. It's great. And the other part is there's now a day 2, which I apparently going back, I just found out it was in the old TRM, but it wasn't done in the launch events. I don't know why. As far as I know, every launch event did just a top cut. But what it's changing to is based on the number of players. And I probably should have saved it because I don't remember where it is in this one, right? But there is going to be a top cut for the day 2 for over 256 players. We'll get back to the tiebreakers themselves. So the good news is events going forward, I don't think it's going to be in for Palm Springs this weekend, but keep in mind that it will be something to look forward to, because I know a lot of people at the end of day 1 were like, if we just would have played 1 or 2 more rounds, I could have gotten some wins and I could have qualified for that top 32 cut. So it just from a overall round health perspective, it's a lot better for the game. So I'm really happy to see them adding that in. So with that, a lot of really exciting things from the, official organized play development with the big events starting this weekend, and then obviously qualifying. We'll have our first Pro Tour qualifiers, right? After this weekend, more launch events are happening. We have spoilers coming around the corner. There is so much to get excited for with Battle Spirits Saga that I am just happy that I get to play now. Like, again, this past weekend, and then last night was the first time that I got to just like sit down and play, like just enjoy playing the game. Again, this is truly my favorite trading card game in the last 10 years. I'll say that until the end of time, right? And it allowed me to just like, I don't have to do a recording. I can just play whatever I want. And I played, obviously Fatal Beast because that is like my pet deck of set 1, with Luster being a close second. So I'm actually going to play Luster on Saturday. Probably Saturday and Sunday because I want to play 2 different versions of Luster. I just love yellow. I am a yellow main, right? Until we get blue and I can get my mill deck and then just mill people out of the game because that's how that's what I'm looking forward to. But if we also get like the death and taxes side of blue, that's totally fine with me as well. There's not a core mechanic in blue that they could start with that I would be upset with. So I am just waiting for blue to get here. And plus they have like all the really cool badass golems and stuff, which we already know are confirmed to come thanks to the lore video. So really, really excited for what's coming because, again, I have been playing this format for 3 months now, and the tournament pack promos do add a little bit of life to it, but I am really, really ready to get, well, maybe EX01 helps. I doubt it, but I really want to see a whole new injection of cards with set 2. And again, a lot of, like 99% of you who are watching this are brand new to Battle Spirit Saga, so please enjoy the format. I think there's still quite a bit to be discovered. But please keep in mind that there are a subset of us that have been playing this since February 1st when the full reveals have gone on. So we've already been playing this format for 3 months. But for me, I finally get to play non-yellow decks. So like there's still a lot for me to do. But I know people who have been testing, a bit heavier, they are the ones that are really, really ready for new cards as well. So I can definitely sympathize with them on that side. But I'm going to go play some Star Dragons and Curse Control and some other stuff and have fun with it. So with that, again, to the same way I started, I want to end with it. Thank you so much for all the new subs and support that are coming in. It has been insane growth on the channel over the last, 5 days in particular. However many, I don't even know what day it is anymore, right? But since launch, there's been a massive spike in views, in subs, and activity on YouTube, and it's just really great to see. And obviously, there's a couple more people that are doing like IRL gameplay, game videos for, locals testing or just having good tabletop content, which is for me important because I can't do tabletop simulator. Those are just visually very difficult for me to watch. So seeing more IRL play is huge. So thank you again. Really, really appreciate everyone coming together and celebrating the launch. So with that, my friends, hopefully more videos to come very, very soon. I'm going to try to get some decks together, get some more versus videos, all that good stuff. But until then, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.